and welcome to my channel. Today we will be doing a last Hatha yoga flow. If y'all have been following this series, this was a 7 days of self-love and discovery series. And today we will be doing more of a posture focused, heart energizing flow today. An option today will be our yoga block. This is not necessary, but only if y'all prefer. And if y'all don't own a yoga block, y'all can always use something like a pillow to use instead of a block. But to start, let's go ahead and close the eyes if that feels comfortable, or having a soft gaze for the eyes. Relaxing the shoulders down, coming into a nice elongated spinal position. Hips are gently down to the earth. Jaw is slightly tucked in, releasing any tension in the facial features in the jaw here. Coming into our natural cycles of breath, not forcing anything, but simply allowing the breath to flow in and out fully of the body. Perhaps setting an intention for today's practice. Perhaps an intention setting for opening of the heart, opening of not only the body, but of the mind. Allowing your body to get a little bit further deeper into this practice and energizing flow today. Perhaps taking some new poses, new strengthening in the body, and new sensations. Welcoming those new sensations today. And on your next inhalation, slowly opening those eyes again and coming into our standing flow. So to start, we will come into a nice position for the feet hip distance apart, one fist distance in between your feet here. From here, looking gently at the level of the horizon here, softening the shoulders down. And on your next inhalation, bringing the eye gaze slightly above, fingertips are nice and elongated here. Exhaling into forward fold, slight bend in those elbows, slight bend in those knees, and gently bringing your hands all the way down to the floor or by your shins here. Inhaling again to lift up nice and tall here with the arm gaze up. Exhale again, back into forward fold. Inhale again to slowly rise up, lengthen the spine, lengthen the arms here, and exhale, returning back into our forward fold. One last time, inhale, really lengthen through the spine, nice and tall here, and exhale, coming back into forward fold. Here in forward fold, let's go ahead and bring our right foot back and bringing the right knee down to the floor. From here, on your next inhalation, bringing your hands up again above your head, really diving deep into this forward line stretch with the hips. Exhale again, pushing the hands down to the floor, bringing the knee again back into the starting position. And on your next inhalation, coming back up into standing, lengthen the fingertips up. And exhale again to bring those hands back into the center in Namaste. Beautiful. Inhale, bringing those hands and the eye gaze up. Exhale, coming back into forward fold, planting those hands. Now is the left leg will come back, left knee on the floor. And inhale, really lengthen the spine upwards, feeling a nice stretch in the front line here. Exhale again, palms down onto the earth, returning the feet together, and inhale again to lengthen the spine. Exhale again, pushing the hands back into Namaste position and releasing the hands by your sides here. Staying here for a moment to feel the heat and the energy created in our mini standing flow today. And whenever you feel ready, bringing now your right foot behind, flipping over to our right side. So now your right toes will be facing forward, your left heel and the toes will be in a nice 45-degree angle here, slightly inwards. From here, coming into an opening for the arms, simultaneously bending the front knee here, just slightly here, and opening your hands now into Warrior Two. Your hands should be by your sides here, shoulder distance, shoulder heights. From here, coming into 4 dynamic flows, which is how we get a little bit deeper into our static pose. So to start, we'll go ahead and come into a bend here. So the right elbow will bend onto the right thigh. The left palm will come towards our head here, leaning in. So now creating this nice side bend here. Inhale here, stay here for a moment. And on your exhalation, releasing again, back into Warrior Two. Inhale again, coming back into our sideline stretch, really getting deep into the hips and the sides of the arms here and the lats. And exhale again, coming back into Warrior Two, eye gaze forward. Inhale, coming back into the nice sideline stretch, perhaps keeping a slight eye gaze, gentle eye gaze, or closing the eyes. Exhale again, returning into Warrior Two. Last time in dynamic, coming back, inhale into our side bend. And exhale back into Warrior Two. And here we'll stay in Warrior Two with the fingertips nice and long, now facing towards the sides. Shoulders are relaxed, not coming upwards, but into that shoulder height here, chest height. Relaxing the head and the neck and the facial features. The eye gaze is pointed to the right. Legs are soft here, soft bend in that front foot, but the heels and the feet should feel really nice and strong and energized. It should feel like a whole strengthening through the bottom of the soles of the feet, through the legs, through the core, through the arms. It should feel like a full body strengthening pose, a power pose of Warrior Two. Last breath here. And on your next inhalation, slowly releasing the arms, slowly releasing that knee here. And let's go ahead and come into the next pose on the same side here. Before we switch, we'll do one more. So we'll bring that back leg, which is my left. We're gonna bring it in just a little bit, keeping a slight 45-degree angle, same like we did in Warrior Two. But now bringing our feet a little bit closer together towards that center line of the body. From here, bringing the palm of the right, flipping it upwards, and the left is gonna come upwards. Slight bend in that front knee, bending and stretching through that side line of the hip, and bringing your fingertips all the way down to the floor, right next to your right foot, or perhaps if it doesn't go that far, holding your right hand with the right calf and ankles here. Coming back, unwinding into that starting position here. And inhalation, bringing it back into our nice Trikonasana pose today, and really opening through that heart and front line here. Back into our starting position on the exhalation, relaxing the shoulders. Inhale, coming back into Trikonasana. 2 more times, exhale back, returning into starting position here. And on every inhalation, really lengthen the spine, lengthen the hips, pushing the hips back, away, and really opening the front line. Last time, exhaling, coming back into starting. And inhale, coming into your deep form of Trikonasana. Again, holding onto the calves or fingertips all the way to the floor. Here, really opening through the front line, really actively pressing the upper body back behind you to really open through the heart. Really feeling that nice and gentle twist for the spine, for the abdomen, everything here opening through the front line. Beautiful. Last cycle of breath here. Nice deep inhalation and complete exhalation here. And on your next exhalation, slowly releasing those arms again into that starting position. And now let's go ahead and flip to the other side. Now bringing the right foot and the heel into 45, bringing your feet a little bit further out so you can come into your full length of warrior two. From here, left foot is pointed straight away. And now the arms, right hand is back, left arm is forward. From here, slight bend into that left knee, coming into our side bend first. Left elbow is meeting the left quad here and the thigh, and then the right arm is coming into our nice sideline stretch. Inhale here, and exhale, releasing the hands back into our strong power pose, warrior two. Inhale again, back into our side bend and feeling that whole lengthening through the tops of the fingertips all the way down to the hips. Exhale again, returning into warrior two, and inhale, side bend. Coming back, exhalation, warrior two, last time. Inhale, side bend. Exhale into warrior two, and staying here into warrior two, bending the front knee just a little bit, coming into a nice position for the arms, chest level. Eye gaze is towards the front, towards the left, just looking at the level of the horizon here. Really lengthening through the crown of the head, really melting your feet and power through those toes down to the earth. Feeling your abdomen and the center line heating up here in this beautiful pose, channeling your inner warrior today. Last cycle of breath here. And on your next exhalation, slowly releasing those arms down, and now coming into Trikonasana, stepping the back right foot a little bit closer and staying in that 45-degree angle, and the front knee is again slightly bent here. Now from here, inhale, reaching those arms nice and long. Left arm is coming down onto the calf or the floor, and right hand is all the way up towards the sky. Coming back into our starting position here, and inhale again to reach down all the way to the floor or the calf here, opening through the front line. Exhale again, coming back into our starting position, and inhale, Trikonasana. Exhale again, returning back into starting position, and inhale again, all the way down to the floor. Last time. Exhale, starting position. Inhale, back into Trikonasana. From here, trying to release and extend through that front knee a little bit more. Coming into a nice forward and sideline stretch and twist. Nice deep and complete inhalations through the nose and deep exhalations out through the mouth here. Really lengthening the top right arm up towards the sky. Trying to look your eye gaze either to the center line here if your neck feels any tension today, or if it feels possible, bringing that right gaze up towards our right fingertips and arm to look towards the sky and the arm here. Creating this beautiful line of triangle here. Beautiful. Last cycle of breath here. Really actively rolling the shoulder back, the top right shoulder, opening through the front line and the hips. And on your next exhalation, if your eye gaze was looking upwards, looking down at your toes, exhale, releasing those arms down, releasing the legs here, coming back into our starting position of Tadasana standing pose. And from here, let's go ahead and come into a fun series where we're gonna go ahead and come back to the floor by lifting the heels off the floor and gently, slowly sinking your hips downwards by keeping your heels lifted the whole time, and slowly, slowly coming back down onto the earth and meeting back into our seated position here. Now today, we're gonna go ahead and go right into some of our next power sequences. And this is where we will go ahead and use the block today if necessary, or a pillow. So to start, we'll go ahead and come back into our bridge position today. We'll recline backwards with the knees bent here and the arms by your sides. Palms are flipped down to the earth. From here, bringing your heels towards your glutes and the buttocks here. It's almost like you can reach your buttocks and your heels with the fingertips here. Now from here, on your next inhalation, rising up the hips, rising up the arms, bringing the arms up towards the sky above your head. Bringing it back on the next exhalation, hips are coming down simultaneously with the arms back down to the sides on the floor. 3 more times. Inhale, really lengthen through the back side now. Lengthen through the arms and the fingertips up. And exhale, gently releasing vertebrae by vertebrae, the spine, the buttocks, and the arms back down to the floor 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen those arms up towards the sky and the spine. And exhale again, returning back into our starting position. Last time here, lifting the hips, lifting the arms on the inhalation. And here we'll stay in bridge for 4 full cycles of breath. Reminder to keep the knees parallel, making sure the knees do not fall outwards like this, but really squeezing those inner thighs together. Imagine you have a beautiful ball in between your inner thighs here. Really squeeze the ball, imaginary ball in between your thighs, keeping that thighs, the buttocks, the core nice and tight here by squeezing everything through that midline position. Really relaxing the shoulders and the arms down nice and heavy to the earth. Last cycle of breath here. And on your next exhalation, simultaneously bring the hips down with the arms. And we'll come into the Queen of Asanas next. And to set up, we'll go ahead and come into our full extension for the legs. Our arms will be behind us, so we'll go ahead and make fists with your hands here and bring it back underneath your buttocks here. From here, flatten out the hands now. Now the elbows will be pressing down firmly onto the floor, bringing your knees and toes together to hug the body in the midline. And from here, on your next exhalation, bringing your knees in toward your chest, simultaneously bringing the hips up and bringing your hands now behind your lower back. Elbows are close to each other and pressing down while bringing your legs to extension here. Now from here, on the next inhalation, bringing the left knee to bend in towards your chest, and exhale to release it back to meet the other. Now switching sides. Inhale here, coming back into the bend here for the knee, and coming back upwards. Now please continue on with your own comfortable pace. Left bends, then the right. For those of us who are not taking the full version today, we'll go ahead and meet here on the floor. Inhale, lengthen the arms and the legs out, behind and away from the midline. Exhale to bring those knees, hug those knees in towards the midline with the arms. 3 more times. Inhale to lengthen those arms and legs away from the midline. And exhale, bringing those knees back into the center line. So whichever variation you're taking, whether full version of Sarvangasana or on the floor, continuing to breathe and continue to cycle through these dynamic in your own comfortable pace here. Last time for dynamic. Inhale fully and complete exhalation. And on your next inhalation, bringing your arms and your legs apart. If you're on the floor here, holding here for just a moment, or if you're in Sarvangasana today, we'll go ahead and continue to hold in just the static form of Sarvangasana here. 3 more breaths, nice deep inhale through the nose and deep and complete exhalation here. Last cycle of breath here. And on your next exhalation, for those of us who are on the floor, bringing your knees in toward your chest and closing the eyes here. And for those of us who are in Sarvangasana today, option to take Plow pose. So for those of us who are in Sarvangasana, either placing the yoga block above your head so that you can reach your toes onto the block here and come into Plow pose, or just coming directly onto the floor without the block and coming into a Plow pose by either bringing your hands into an interlaced position like so, or placing your hands by your low back. And here, a reminder to keep the knees extended without bend here. Your flexion, do not flex those knees, and coming into full Plow pose by closing the eyes here. Again, only option if this feels right for your practice today. If not, we do not want to strain the low back, so please just rest in that knees in position here on the floor with the others. And we'll stay here for a last cycle of breath here. Nice deep complete inhalation and full exhalation here. And whenever you feel ready on your next exhalation, bringing, if you're in the Plow, bringing your hands by your low back and bringing your knees to a slight bend here. So that way you can bring your elbows back down on the floor and bringing now slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, your spine back down onto the earth with the legs coming down. And now everyone coming back to bring the feet down to the earth, keeping the knees here bent. And just resting here, closing the eyes if that feels comfortable. And whenever we feel ready, on your next exhalation, slowly rolling out from the floor, flipping over into our last and final power pose, which is going to be our Locust pose. For Locust, we'll go ahead and flip over, kind of like when we do our Cobra pose, but we will go ahead and meet back onto the belly all the way to the floor, creating 2 fists so that we can place them underneath your belly and your hips here. So essentially when we're on the floor, your elbows will be close together in the center line here. So this is how it's going to look on the floor. So meeting here whenever ready by bringing your right arm down, left arm down underneath your torso and your belly and the hips, and placing your forehead or your chin down. Again, for some of us who might feel some tension in the head and the neck, please conduct this pose on your forehead here. From here, we're gonna go ahead and lift both legs at the same time off the floor by pressing your fists down onto the earth here. Exhale to lift the legs up. Inhale in dynamic to hover the legs off the floor. 3 more times. For those of us who cannot lift the legs up at the same time, for both at the same time, just practicing with one leg off the floor. Exhale here. Inhale down and alternating the sides. So this is only for those of us who feel not ready for the full Locust, but coming in and working to strengthen the legs and the back so that eventually we will be able to meet in both legs here. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and do 2 more dynamic flows here of Locust. Again, exhale to release the legs up. Inhale to hover. Last dynamic here. And on the next exhalation, lifting the legs up and staying here for 4 full cycles of breath. Again, for those of us who are just doing the alternating the legs, feel free to lift one leg off the floor and just holding for a moment, and then switch sides, hold for a moment, strengthen the glutes, the legs, and the back here, and just keep alternating here, or just simply resting everything down if you feel it is too much for today. But again, just actively preparing ourselves for this back bending and strengthening pose here. Beautiful. Last cycle of breath here in Locust. And on the next inhalation, slowly bring the feet back down to the earth, rolling our hands away from the center line, flipping back over and coming into Shavasana today. Relaxing the head, the back, reclining down, hips are open and wide, palms are facing up towards the sky. Potentially closing the eyes here if that feels good and comfortable. Relaxing your whole body down onto the floor for full and final total body relaxation here. And slowly bringing awareness back into the room. Gently wiggling those fingertips, wiggling your feet and the toes, perhaps rolling in circles your arms, your wrists, your legs and the toes from the ankles. Perhaps rolling your head side to side, gently waking the body back up again. Perhaps giving yourself a nice, big, warm hug. And whenever you feel ready, bending your knees, coming onto one side of the body. Pressing those palms down onto the earth and coming back into a seated position with the eyes closed if that feels comfortable. Taking a moment to come into how you're feeling right now. How has this series helped you not only physically, but mentally. Perhaps this series gave you a more deeper understanding and deeper appreciation for your body and all that it is capable of doing. Or perhaps you're able to mentally connect deeply with your body, listening to your heart, and just appreciating what your body is capable of, that maybe your mental mind has hindered you from doing. The power of yoga is to not only be challenged with the outside voices, but the power of yoga is beautiful in that it gives you a self-realization that your body is capable of anything. You might notice that you were able to become stronger through this series, or perhaps taking a moment to just silence those outer voices and really listen and tune in to your inner voice that is so much more stronger than those outside voices. Thank you so much for joining this series for yourself. And if you joined in the middle of the series, feel free to come back to the series if you ever feel like you need some kind of a grounding or self-time. And I hope that this series was able to give you even a little bit of inner peace and love during this beautiful Valentine's season. Until the next one, I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and namaste.